I was at the bridal shop, standing in front of the mirror in my dream dress, when he turned to me and said, "You're still fat." Without hesitation, I took off the veil and shouted, "Fine, we won't get married." 10 years of constant criticism ended in a single moment. In front of everyone, I canceled the wedding, and the shock on their faces said it all. I tore off my veil and shouted, "Then don't get married in the bridal shop." I stepped out of the fitting room in the dress. Even some strangers nearby gasped in admiration. But Aaron turned, looked me over, and his first words were, "Jess, you're still too chubby." The smile froze on my face, and even the sales assistant looked taken aback. "Your face is puffy, arms are thick, big frame, thick waist. This doesn't look good at all," he sighed. "Jess, you don't look like a bride at all." His voice wasn't loud, but it was just enough for everyone in the shop to hear. Eyes turned my way, some sympathetic, some judgmental, some just entertained. In that moment, I felt like nothing more than an object for Aaron to scrutinize, not a person. Tears threatened to spill, my chest tight with a feeling I couldn't breathe through. For months, I'd followed Aaron's orders, working out every day to fit into this dress. I'd barely eaten anything, losing 20 pounds just to look my best on our wedding day. Why did he have to say that? Maybe it was the exhaustion, or maybe the disappointment. But suddenly, 10 years of endurance snapped. I tore off my veil and shouted, "Aaron, if I'm not good enough for you, then let's not get married?" Yes, I don't look like a bride, so I'm calling off the wedding. And in his shocked silence, I took a deep breath, finally saying what I'd rehearsed in my head 1,000 times. "Aaron, we're breaking up." By the time my best friend, Lily Quinn, came to get me, the tears hadn't stopped. After I posted the news about calling off the wedding, everyone was messaging, asking what had happened. Most people said, "Jess, isn't there some misunderstanding? Or he's such a great guy, you won't find anyone better." Even my mom was on Aaron's side. I heard from Aaron, "It's just a small matter. No need to overthink it," she'd said. No one understood. To everyone else, Aaron was the perfect boyfriend. Good-looking, successful, made good money, and hadn't cheated on me in 10 years. His only fault? He put me down. We've been childhood friends, growing up side by side. He was one of those perfect kids who excelled at everything. Way ahead of me in every way. But life had dealt him a tough hand. His mom passed away when he was young, and his father was a workaholic who barely acknowledged him unless he won an award. So Aaron had matured fast. When the other kids played outside, he was already competing in math tournaments and winning. That harsh upbringing had shaped him, making him cold. He only showed any real personality with me, often in the form of harsh criticism. If I placed second instead of first, he'd knock on my head and say I wasn't smart enough, pointing out every mistake I made. When I won bronze in a competition and he won gold, he'd look at me with disappointment and call me dense. In my teenage years, my mom constantly reminded me, "Look at Aaron. So talented, always top of the class, winning all these awards." It's safe to say I grew up in Aaron's shadow. I hated how he tore me down and how my mom kept comparing us. But when we were teenagers, everyone called us a perfect pair. They insisted Aaron's teasing was his way of showing he cared. Even when Aaron confessed his feelings, he said, "Jess, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't push you so hard." It was the first time you'd spoken to me so gently. His face soft, eyes full of laughter. Everyone cheered us on so loudly, I barely noticed the discomfort in my heart. And just like that, I ended up dating Aaron. It's been 10 years since then. Lily had been my best friend since college and the only one to support my decision to break up with Aaron. In college, Aaron had asked me to join him for an early morning study session at the library one weekend. It wasn't easy to wake up at 7 a.m. on a weekend, and despite rushing, I was 2 minutes late. Aaron was waiting, arms crossed, annoyed. "Jess, why can't you keep time? Will you be late for client meetings once you're working? What if it's $1 million deal on the line?" I automatically apologized, but Lily, fresh from her morning run, pulled me aside. Getting up early to study on a weekend is already a big deal. Jess is doing great, and it was just 2 minutes. Don't blow it out of proportion. From then on, Aaron and Lily didn't get along. Lily always praised me. She cheered when I ranked second, celebrated when I passed my exams, even admired me for getting up early for class. She'd say, "Don't listen to Aaron. You're amazing, Jess." Those simple affirmations were something I hadn't heard in over 20 years. That's why I loved spending time with Lily. Aaron, though, scoffed, "She only praises you to make you arrogant. She's keeping you from seeing your flaws. Humility builds growth. Pointing out your weaknesses like I do, that's what's really helpful." My fear of Aaron had almost paralyzed me after his long period of suppression. Today, when I finally ended things with Aaron, Lily was thrilled. She hugged me, whispering, "Congratulations, Jess, you're free." Lily took me to her place, offering me the spare bedroom to stay for a while. As she LED'd me to the room, her eyes sparkled. "Jess, do you like it? I decorated it just the way you like." I looked around at the pastel pink wallpaper, the Mickey Mouse desk, and a pigtail-wearing doll on the bed. It was surreal. How long had it been since I'd seen anything like this? Aaron's minimalist style only allowed black, white, and gray. He always rolled his eyes at my love for pink and toys, saying, "Jess, your taste is painfully tacky." Thinking of it brought tears to my eyes as I hugged Lily, sobbing. If Aaron had been a nightmare, I couldn't wake up from then. Lily was the remedy life had sent to me. I planned to head to the apartment Aaron I had shared to pack my things. But when I arrived, Aaron was already there. He was lounging on the sofa, looking up at me lazily. Done throwing a tantrum? I studied my voice, fighting to keep it from shaking. I'm not throwing a tantrum, Aaron. I meant what I said. I'm here to pack. Surprisingly, he didn't argue. He just sat there, giving me that strange half-smile. Ignoring the discomfort in my gut, I went to gather my things. In truth, I didn't own much. Just a few personal items. Most things were Aaron's purchases after we'd moved in. When I'd first brought over my colorful toothbrushes and towels, Aaron had wrinkled his nose. Jess, your things are gaudy. They look awful. By the next day, he'd replaced all of them.